The Devils! It's live. At least tying them into the song. It's working.
Yeah, you gotta, it's all over Oh, I didn't see you.
So is everyone in that frame?
Are we in the frame?
Just tell me when you hit record.
Are these fools too loud?
Hit record? Like, sup, Devils? We got fucking Matt the Killer Guy Harvey and Ross Sewage. I don't even know who gave you the name Matt the Killer Guy Harvey. I saw it in a magazine once.
Someone gave me that name. I've never heard that before right now.
Oh, I thought that was like the code name. Ross Sewage and Matt the Killer Guy. That's what I was talking about.
I've never heard that before.
It was totally in a zine, and it was
weren't supposed to say anything. It's.
What is it in the band as Matt the Dickhead Guy Harvey?
Like, that sounds more accurate, but no, I don't know.
It's an ironic nickname.
Oh, thanks, Ross.
So actually, one thing I've always actually wanted to ask you, Matt, because well, not always, but and it was time with Ross in the band too. Is why did you guys disband doing the kick-ass covers with the real shit on the first two albums, Slaughter Call? I mean, not Slaughter Call and Gore Metal, and then Anatomy of Destiny. I remember when it first came out, I asked you, I was like, why the new cover? I was like, I'm kind of disappointed. You're like, well, want to try something new? And you're like, well, we have the band photos, and we did it, which I was really cool. After that, you kind of disbanded that. Like, what's the reason? Like, did you just think it was immature? They didn't want to do it too much?
I didn't think it was immature. I just thought it was repetitious. You know, I mean, I think the thing is, like, the big struggle that we have really over the last several albums is that, you know, after most bands, as a fan, I only really like 4 albums. It's kind of the limit. And so how do you like stay true to your style and not change and go too far afield? But then how do you not just become utterly repetitious where it's the same?
Well, at the same time, since you say you only like the first 3-4 albums by a band, which is typical, I fall in that category a lot myself. If you were outside looking at yourself as a fan of Exhumed, not a member of Exhumed, wouldn't you be like, man, what the fuck? What are these guys doing? They're sitting on the third album up sucks, especially Dawn of the Dead. Third album up, and you know they suck.
I mean, I try to be as objective as possible, and I do kind of like one thing that I do is I like to reuse a lot of riffs from like the early demos and stuff. I'll sort of sneak in a riff here and there on various albums.
You like to fire people a lot, so it keeps the band fresh.
Did you get fired, Russ? Or did you quit?
I got fired.
You got fired?
I got fired. Well, it was what they call the kids call quiet quitting. I quiet quit and then was very lucky to be fired.
Yeah, but like they say, everything happens for a reason. I think it kind of happened for a decent reason because think about it, then you probably would have done Impaled otherwise, right?
I mean, it was a good thing to happen to me because one, it's a kind of a humbling experience. I've had other friends that kicked out of bands that became better people. I was able to get into other creative projects that definitely sparked a flame within me that made me a much better player in general now. And also me and Matt grew up, so many years and realized that, some teenagers that became friends in a band, your shit can just go south. But now we're adults and we can just rip on each other all the time and call each other shitheads and not take it seriously.
Well, having said that, again, when you started Impaled that for the first album, which I'm a huge fan of to this day, Dead Shall Dead Remain, you still had that same, number one, you guys had that same image with the entrails and shit like that in the cover.
Oh yeah, I was pretty in that band. I was definitely.
Which I love that cover.
I was particular about like trying to keep the same kind of aesthetic throughout. Like I always admired that with bands like KMFDM. They kind of always had the same aesthetic.
Did you
album cover to album?
What did you guys take offense when people were like? Because I remember when that came out, people were like, "Oh, it's just another fucking Exhumed ripoff Carcass wannabe." At least when it came out, they don't say that.
No, I mean that was the exact goal was to be a Carcass wannabe. So why would I take offense to that?
Yeah.
It's like It's like if you're, Vivienne Westwood puts out her new fashion design, and then it's in Ross Dress for Less a couple years later from some knockoff designer. If you compare that to the Vivienne Westwood, you'd be very happy about that, right? The fact that it means we're hitting the mark. It's like, oh, this band sounds like Carcass. It's like, good, great. It's not like we stole riff from riff or anything, but obviously they were a huge inspiration. So
I would definitely say like with the artwork and stuff, in Exhumed when you guys were doing that, I definitely felt like some toes were kind of being stepped on. It was like,
what, your toes?
Yeah, it was
You're telling us I did the cover for the first record.
I know.
That's
You know,
just
it's
me as
funny
an
too.
artist expressing
I
myself.
realized that, but it was like, oh, this is like really like, you know, we were very much in the same lane.
Oh, I mean, Exhumed would have had the exact same covers if I hadn't gotten kicked out of the band, probably.
You know what's funny too is about
Maybe not a toilet. It would have been something else.
Sure, but no,
A grave with entrance.
no, I get what you're saying.
they could have put on a toilet. What they could have done is whatever the previous Exhumed down there, the War Metal or Slaughter Call, you could have added that to the cover, and the toilet was also the album with the shit.
Yeah, I mean,
you didn't do that, at least.
all sorts of possibilities, but I think at the end of the day, I think what happened was great. I got to be, like I said, part of other creative projects between like Ludicra and Pale and some other stuff. And Exhumed got to go do its thing and evolve in a way, and I like where Exhumed ended up. And got to rejoin at an opportune time where I think, like, you know, like talking about the band's falling apart after 3 or 4 records. I think Matt taking a break from music after Anatomy of Destiny. I think he's become a much better songwriter than he ever was before. And I'm happy to be working with him again. So
I'm certainly better at being in a band.
You're certainly better than me. I think I am too. We were both very shitty people.
You know, Ross, I got a funny story for you though. You're definitely not gonna remember this. When I had you first sign all our Pale shit and stuff like that, it was the whichever 7-inch, I forget the title of it, which I still have. It's the one with the dead guy on there, the Marilyn Manson.
Oh, but you're gonna have to be more specific than dead guy in there.
No, but basically the Marilyn Manson.
The Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, and I was like, why does he have like a Marilyn Manson on? And you look at me like, because he's a poser. He killed posers. Like, it's common sense. But it's funny because for this channel, they just love talking about posers and asking about posers. Hey, what do you think of these posers and shit like that? And I doubt you remember saying that, but it's funny because some of the shit I say, that people look at me like, what the fuck is this guy? Like some of the clueless people, they come in, what's this guy talking about? Like, talking about the fan tears and cold chambers and that's poser shit and stuff like that. I'm like, hey man, I was looking at it like I was a fucking idiot because...
I mean, I said, like, you know, yeah, that was some poser shit. Where do you think I got the Marilyn Manson record from? My collection.
That's what I told you. The poser, kill posers. But I'm just saying that was the response. I just thought it was funny.
It was also, I think it was like some Slayer Divine Intervention.
It might have been, yeah, too.
That's just because I didn't like that record a whole lot.
I don't like it either.
Not exactly poser, I was just like,
poser,
I thought it
but
was
it's
funny.
not great.
It just was funny.
No, I agree. It was definitely fun.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't see too much of that. I don't think you see any of that today, unless there's an obscure band that I don't know about. You guys probably somebody.
But yeah, we stopped killing people for being posers a while ago, so we don't see that too much.
That's when I actually, when I got June, the first time you signed shit and Cole signed himself, he just wrote kill posers. I was like, oh, that's the greatest thing ever.
I mean, like,
Keep in mind, this is coming from a bunch of milquetoast, like barely grown adults.
You're more grown than me at the time.
but I mean, the thing was, we grew up like worshiping Exodus, like the first album, and like that whole like thrash mentality of like people that were into like real like underground metal, and then people that were into like, you know, Def Leppard and stuff or whatever. Even though I honestly love Def Leppard, but I mean, I remember like in like 8th grade, this dude that would have like a stereo shirt or whatever, he used to like kick his lunchbox over and shit.
Wait, you did?
Yeah.
You were a bully. I never bullied. The poser thing for me was just like a funny joke. It's like saying stay fucked, stay brutal, kill posers. I'm like, I don't really care what fucking music you have in your music collection. If you paid like ticket entrance to come see us play, you're absolutely
No, when I say to got asked on this channel, when I talk like the Panthers, the Cold Chamber, shit like that, I was like, you can like anything you want. I don't give a shit if you listen to goddamn Backstreet Boys and you listen to real shit. I was like, the problem is, like, when I was in high school, it's like that. It's a little bit after your guys' year, because you're about 10 years older than me.
Yeah, but I'm sure the mentality.
But the guys listen to Pantera, Cold Chamber, Mushroom Head, Static X, Marilyn Manson, stuff like that. They would come up and ask questions, and they had no idea who Cannibal Corpse was. They'd be like, "What's heavier than Pantera?" And they're completely clueless in the sense of like, well, dude, in the sense you're just a clueless idiot. The bands themselves, and if somebody likes that plus shit, I have no problem with it. I was like, but you're just a clueless.
Well, you can also just look at it as an opportunity to start a new friendship over sharing.
I didn't look at that
not-
at 16 years old, but I can see that now.
Yeah, I mean, when I was 16, I met Cole Jones in high school, and I was just starting to get into Metallica and shit like that, a little bit of a late bloomer. And Cole, instead of being like, "Hey, poser, you don't know what the shit's about," he handed me a Carcass tape and a Godflesh tape, and I was like, "This shit rules."
He's the one turning out Carcass.
I was absolutely.
I
Yeah,
didn't
Cole.
know Cole is Cole older than you.
We're about the same age, but he's a grade ahead of me because he's much smarter.
You're older than both Cole and I.
Yeah, well, I'm a dumbass and I was a grade.
No, you're not a dumbass. But your parents actually kind of made a responsible decision because my parents should have helped me back here.
They definitely should have. You're an immature little fuck. So Cole like introduced me to demo. He's like, here's my band Exhumed. Because the first demo was already out because I met him in like '92. I think the first demo was '91.
January
What
92.
years?
Huh? '94.
I
Yeah,
graduated.
you're about to say, because I graduated in 2003.
Yeah.
I
So.
graduated in 93.
Yeah, so I met these guys. I started playing role-playing games, and Matt's like, "Well, here, check out some cool older shit like Venom. Check out fucking all the Void Law and stuff." Yeah, I didn't even know any of that shit until I met the guys in Zoom. So basically, they groomed me, and it should be canceled.
We groomed you.
It should be absolutely canceled. Oh, yes.
Another thing I'm kind of wondering too, just for personal pleasure, now that you guys are fucking, you guys are teammates, you guys are team relapse, you guys are basically buddies. Why doesn't relapse set anything up for like Zoom Hemorrhage to do a US tour?
Hemorrhage just doesn't really play a lot.
What's their reason? Like
Kids.
because you know them. Well, I don't know them
They have
all,
kids.
so I mean,
They have kids.
They're like,
We went on to have kids, and they don't want to travel that much. A lot of European bands don't want to tour like a lot of American bands because, well, one, they're usually like at home with a nice socialized healthcare system, and they're not struggling as hard. So like, why would I want to go anywhere? It's really nice. I live in fucking Madrid. It's lovely. Why would I need to go
so
to
living
fucking
in California.
Yeah, like I would go
free
to
healthcare. Yeah.
But yeah,
it's kind of like Louis I knew him and Anna had a kid together.
they have I think a few.
I was gonna say, I thought they had.
They have a
Yeah,
few.
well,
So even playing festivals for them can be difficult at times. I know they have extended family. They talked about like sometimes the grandparents will watch the kids, but it's like I just don't think that band is really interested in
I was
doing
gonna say, I don't think they have the
that.
motivation anymore, which is too bad. Because
I've never seen him live to this day. That's actually my number one band on my slide, number one of all.
Elizabeth, if you're watching, what's up, dude? Let's do it.
Let's do it. We'll take you out on a tour. You can
He ain't
bring the
watching. You
kids.
ain't even watching my
It's a
shit.
healthy
I don't
environment.
watch YouTube, man.
No, I hear you. Yeah.
So they're all friends. I would love to do
I
things
don't
like
watch
that.
TV, man.
No, I'm just saying that. Actually, I don't realize, as far as metal shit too, like I don't watch any metal YouTube channels. I'm just like, because for me, I was like, I know. Plus, I see it coming through houses. I was like, I kind of have the inside scuttle. I was like, what am I gonna? I don't really care what somebody else's opinion is. What am I gonna watch?
You don't watch Anthony Fontano? You don't want to know what
I don't know what that is.
Who is he?
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Everybody watching this right now
I'm sure he's
is
a good
like,
guy.
you guys don't know who the fuck Anthony. He is probably the most influential internet music producer. Anyways, I'm just making fun of him because he sucks and he's not really good at his job.
Oh, it's a good thing I don't know him.
I don't care what you think of my records, Anthony Fontana, but thanks for the one decent review on the other record. We sold a lot more things to you.
Well, another topic that gets brought up on the channel a lot, and not for me, people just ask and it seems to get recycled very, very often. So I'll ask you guys, I already put mine on, I know it's a hard question. The topic of the fucking older guys, aka the grandpas in the metal scene, who basically don't even listen to metal anymore. What would you guys say, like, who would you say your top 5 favorite bands are? Both of you.
Like of all time?
Yeah. And I know it's hard, I've given mine, but if you had to say, like, kind of all the top of your head, like, who comes to mind?
I mean, just all music, period, or just metal, like heavier stuff. 'Cause that's a little easier. Because it's like Metallica, Repulsion, Maiden, Priest.
Well, outside of metal, Madonna, who else do you like?
A lot.
Right,
I mean, I listen to we all listen to all kinds of music, and
Who would you say you find yourself listening to very often in the last 5 years? Let's just say that. Is it even metal at all?
I mean, I listen to the same metal that I've always listened to.
Okay, those ones that you say, which ones will be?
The classics. I have one playlist on Spotify that's just like 81 to 85, and it's like Venom, Slayer, Metallica, Nasty Savage, Hellhammer, Onslaught, Bathory, Creator.
When was the last time you listened to probably like Read Putrefaction? Let's say that.
It's been a couple years, but I thoroughly enjoyed it last time I did.
So it still holds up very much.
Oh, I think it's great, man.
I never listened to that record.
No, what's
Because that record is permanently emblazoned in my brain. I don't have to. It's like one of those things, you know.
I'm gonna put it on shuffle next time I see you. Hey Ross, what song are we on?
I'll just be like,
You're like, you go peerless excreter. Next!
no, it's, I mean, it is.
Microwave unit
I
just
tried,
next!
I tried, like, yeah, because there are obviously, you can sit and listen to the same records over and over again. And it's nice to go back and revisit, of course. But I tend, like, I don't want to get stuck in a rut like the old guy who just listens to fucking And Justice for All constantly for the rest of his life because he turned 19 and he got married.
I'm serious. It's a much cooler record than Injustice for All.
They're both pretty, they're both
I'm just,
pretty
it's
good.
an example of like, you get out of high school and like, you have like metal friends in
No,
high
but the
school
difference is,
and they don't keep
my
listening
opinion
to
is the
you.
difference. I know I 100% agree with you, and I see your coming from. But the difference is, if you say, you know, I'm a repeat listening to Injustice for All, your grandma could relate to that. Like, oh, Ross, this is some really nice music. If you fucking say Wicked Putrefaction, she'd be still saying, shut this shit off. It still is much more underground and into the extreme music.
But there's tons of good new bands that I do like.
I 100% agree. There's a lot of them.
You know, like I love Bewitcher, I love like Warren's Radical, I think it's great. You know, I love
That was a question I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
Did you hear some Boulder play? Did you hear the Multi-Rot? Is that the band?
I have not heard about them right
That's my favorite thing, man. Cool. They did one, they call it a full length, but it's kind of like general surgery pathology. It's like 18 minutes long. It's called Blood Delusions, and it's basically dead infection worship. But it's like it's one of my fantastic, because I thought it was absolutely fantastic. And my dick doesn't get hard that easy these days with the shit that comes out.
You can see a doctor about that.
Dick was really hard. Well, dick gets hard. It's just gotta be good.
I mean, I'm almost 50, you gotta know these things.
So yeah, I highly recommend Multi-Rot. I'm sure everybody on the channel is super fucking good. Because actually, and I told Aaron, like I like the Boulder, but I like the Multi-Rot way more. Yeah, it's like it was like my favorite thing of 2020.
Awesome. I mean, like there is like lots of good new metal.
Yeah.
We're on tour with some of it.
Right, and that's one of
Who's
the
the newer bands you like? Don't just
Well,
say
man,
something.
like, I'm not just like tied to the tour, but like just a few months ago, someone sent me the videos, like video for a Square grind, and I was like, holy fucking shit, I need to go see this. Got
Now you get to see him.
I know, so I went to go see him, and then I was like, they jumped onto our tour. I was like, oh, that's fucking fantastic, because they're also great live. Do check out their videos, they're fucking hilarious.
Well, then in general, like, who would you say is your top 5 bands? I mean, Mackie.
My top 5 bands, let's see, Liebach is up there, Enslaved.
Really? It's like, really?
Yeah, fucking
I knew you liked black metal. I didn't think to that.
Well, I don't even. Can you really consider Enslaved black metal?
I mean, early shit for us.
I like their prog run. I love the
Oh, so
prog
you like
run.
everywhere?
Yeah. It's like yeah, that.
I did not know that.
Like, yeah, Kundahala is probably someone knows that we've heard of. It's one of the best fucking artists out there. Britney Spears, and.
Is that a serious?
No, I fucking love Britney Spears. The bitch moves.
I did say I'd rather listen to Britney Spears than fucking Creed. Stain,
Oh, 100%.
Stain and Tool. Like the shit I'd rather sleep in.
I'd rather listen to virtually anything.
But people,
I'd rather listen
dude,
to
I brought that up.
mix
Dude, I said that to people. People are like, what are you talking about, Tringo? Tool is pretty good.
I also want to
I was
throw.
like, dude, I'd rather listen to Britney Spears over the fucking.
I gotta throw Voivod in. I want to throw that on my list. Voivod. Because What a Run, and then one shitty record with Jason Newsted, and they fucking delivered it.
It's
So.
Voivod for me.
Yeah, I would say like Couture's was also not bad.
Wait, no, that was the stuff that was based off the demo. But even
there was a
even
couple
the
like
stuff with
saggy
even the
stuff.
stuff with the other guy when they got heavy or forget his name, the one bass player.
Oh, Eric Forrest.
Yeah, Eric Force. That
Those
shit
records were
rules.
really good.
I mean, there's like it's really hard to match Voivod.
They were trying to hit like a
Yeah, they did.
CGI. Oh, and I think it's an and like the letter N. Yeah, it has CGI and
Because Voivod was a band I would never get into. The War Pain shit is classic. I would just station 1 year up that there's nothing for it.
a lot of people are like that. They're like, people are either like, this is my favorite band, or people are like, why? I think one.
I get it, no, because especially listeners, like, nobody sounds like it at the time. It's original.
I don't think anybody sounds like it for or stands.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you hear a lot of like worship bands and clone bands, and I never heard of Voivod. Even Vector, which was maybe the closest, still was not exactly, you know, which was not their intent. But I'm just saying, out of all the bands that have come out in the thrash genre, they were the only one that sort of kind of.
Nobody sounds like that. No one will ever do that. And that was like one of the early things I got into in metal, where it's like, oh, it can be so fucking different. I mean, it doesn't really reflect any of the music I've made to be different and weird. But I like that it definitely it definitely gave me an appreciation of music and what metal could do.
Well, what I like about Voivod though is that they have like their own aesthetic and like
That was like
Away drew all the covers and he designed the logo and they had this cohesive concept.
that would be another one to pull back to too. Like we were talking about the Pale records, all kind of looking similar. I mean, it got ridiculous to the point of logo placement. I always made sure the logo was in the same place and the layouts and shit like that.
Wasn't so the men of
But like but like a lot of that's like Voivods. Like I always liked that they had a thematic. Like you knew it was a Voivod record when you looked at a Voivod record before you saw the name. You're like, that's a Voivod record because that's Away Art and it has this unique style. So
no, that's kind of what that's why going back to the very first question with the Exhumed, that's what I thought. I mean,
well, because the real
I
answer
wasn't totally pissed at these fucking traitors. I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, the real answer is because they kicked me out. I couldn't do as good.
Well, I mean, that's certainly the reason why the Sonic cover sucks.
Yeah, the Sonic Call comes up. I mean, that's my biggest beef with you guys is you don't fucking reprint those T-shirts.
We did reprint them.
I didn't get one.
Well, we did reprint them.
You gotta stand the grams, bro. You gotta get this.
No, because all I had was a tour shirt from 2001, and that was a size medium. I can't squeeze into a fucking medium. So I needed to update. I asked my contact artist, like, hey, can we do it? They're like, relapse 501. So, all right, cool, enough. Nope. I was like, oh, maybe they'll print for the tour.
Well,
nope.
After that whole conversation, they then informed me that I was inspired and that I could do it. And we did it. And so we're sort of like, we were kind of rotating through the old album art. We did a tour where we did the Gore Metal shirt, then the tour where we did the Slaughter Cult, and then the tour where we did Anatomy. And then next year is the 25th anniversary of Gore Metal, the 20th anniversary of Anatomy. So we're kind of thinking about doing something around the first 3 albums.
Wait, so what anniversary is it for Gore Metal Redux? So we're celebrating the 10th anniversary of that. The 30th anniversary of Gore Metal.
It's funny because both of you guys did it.
We've got, if you guys know for releases, you basically have an anniversary like every.
Yeah, I mean, they're all.
I feel like 25th is kind of silly.
No, honestly, I think that's good. You just got me started. You
can rent a car. You can rent a car now.
25th anniversary. If you're thinking 3 albums, I would say how many songs on there did you play live? 15.
Depends.
But instead of say 15, I would say 5 songs each album. I would do 5 songs each album. I mean, you guys totally pissed all over that Slaughter Call and leave it out. I think. That's Slaughter Call is probably my top 20 favorite records.
Calm down. Well, the thing is that, because of all the anniversary shit next year, and knowing that we're going to kind of do something focusing on the older stuff, on this tour, we're just doing like one from Anatomy, one from Slaughter Cult, and I think, was it 3 for the first album, 2.5 for the first album?
2.5.
2.5.
How do you do 2.5?
Well, that's when you decide that a song was too long. You just cut it in the break.
That song was way too long.
Dance of the Dead?
Yes.
That sounds great. I love that song.
But it's way too long. So we just
that's like saying
it's called
too long. That word saying it's too long.
It's called a medley. It's fine. It happens. It's
No, it's funny.
You gotta squeeze all that
Actually, I was on my channel. I was on my channel pissing and whining recently about the Lost Fate tour. I'm like, they play Satan's Fall, which is a great song. Number one, they've been doing it since fucking 1980, goddamn too. You know what I'm saying? And you didn't play any 90s songs, which I love those 90s albums. And anyone that says otherwise, I'd say take a fucking hike. Maybe that's you. That's fine.
No. I will not be hiking anywhere right now.
They didn't play any 90s songs. They played a new song, which I thought was mediocre at best, but it was 10 minutes long. So they got a 12-minute Satan's Fall, 10-minute new fucking song, no 90s song. Here's an idea. Cut fucking Satan's Fall or do a medley, do a 2.5 like they say.
Yeah.
Or cut the new one and do 4 goddamn songs. 1 song off each.
Well, see, that's the best part about being a grindcore band is you absolutely can fit all the material in from every record. So, it's like we'd have one extra long song, but it's like, okay, we can throw the fucking decrepit crescendo in there. It's about 2.5 minutes. Throw that in there, throw another 2.5 minutes long in there. Don't write 10-minute long songs as a solution to appease all your
next year.
I'm just saying.
Right.
I'm just saying. I put in the suggestion box and it was denied.
I mean, I'm just trying to be realistic. I don't want to get, I mean? I don't want to be like, sure, we'll do it, man. And then not do it. But,
no, I always just like, I think to this day, Zoom is still very entertaining live. So that's, and I like the record. I like the new record. I listened to about it. I think on the way up here was the 7th time. But I will say this, in order, my favorite is Slaughter Call, then Gore Metal, original recording only, goddammit, and then Horror.
Wow.
And after that, it's maybe Anatomy. I don't know, but Horror was definitely I thought a lot. It's like Total Repulsion Worship. That's all the songs were super catchy and I absolutely, when that came out, I was like, I liked all the others, you know, the Hypocrisy, and all, but I was like, this is like really good.
Cool, man.
I'm glad that you can have such a varied opinion on the breadth of material. That at least it's
Well, I got an opinion.
different enough that you can able.
Dude, you
are able to
didn't
do
watch
that.
my video either. I showed my entire Exhumed collection on camera.
I watched
got
some
all
of it and
that,
I was
you
just
know?
like, oh my
no,
god.
I'm saying, I
It's
feel
too much.
I feel good.
Wow, you put it out all
And you got more than I do.
Hey, that's
Sure. I just feel good being in a band that you can have a debate with people over like this and that and the other because they're all a little bit different,
Yeah, it's
but
funny
they're all
because
related. They're all in the family.
Every once in a while, I'll meet somebody and share like, oh, I hope you don't get mad, but my favorite album was this. And I was like, the fact that you care enough to have a favorite,
Yeah, that's awesome.
that's
Well,
rare.
having said that, actually, I want both of you guys. I don't want the lame-o answer. Oh, keep digging the new album. Grant that's your pick. What would you say as not what sold the best, not what's a fan favorite? If you were listening as a fan yourself, what album would you say you enjoy the most? Not what's easy to play live, not what the crowd hits are. What would you say your favorite albums if you had to pick?
Yeah.
You want to go? The Hypocrisy, I love that record. It's great.
But we're just a better
I really-
band.
It's not even on it.
I was gonna say that's funny, guys. That's one.
No, I like it.
Maybe that's why you like it too, though, because you were able to listen to it.
I mean, yeah, I mean,
Right, I mean, it's so hard to be objective.
it is, but I just think that's a really good record. I like the
Well,
production. I
yeah,
think
you
it's-
can at least kind of, you can at least have some going on. You could be like, I'm sure you in your mind.
There's a few like where like there's certain records where I think like we tried some stuff, some of it worked great, some of it maybe not, and but at the same time, I mean, it's all
Just fucking man up and answer the fucking question. First record on your head.
if I was just gonna listen to
If you just had to listen to
myself,
something and you're like,
He's like,
what's
man,
the
they're all
least,
so
what's
bad,
the
I don't
least
like it.
cringy one where you're like, I'm not going to be annoyed about this?
I'd probably listen to this.
Which one?
A Hemdale split. We have an answer.
Hey, we're supposed to be doing the LP if this guy will ever do the fucking layout. I mean, I don't know. Matt's probably like, what do you mean you're doing the LP? I forgot about that.
I know we
You
talked
asked so
about it.
goddamn long ago.
I just one of those things like, oh, we talked about it, and then I don't know, it just goes on.
Here's how the deal went down. I texted you, and you said, "Yeah, I'm good as long as Hemdale's good." I got Matt Hemdale's number. I was like, I didn't have his number. I was like, Emma did. I was like, Emma, do you have Matt's Hemdale's
Oh,
number?
Emma does?
Yeah. And she's like, yeah.
Matthew J. Ross.
She's like, here it is. I literally texted him. I was like, exactly like this. It's like, hey Matt, I'm Justin from Neighbors. We want to do the Exhumed Hemdale split on vinyl. Harvey said cool. He just said it's up to you. He said, yep, go for it. Not what's the offer, what? I'm like, all right, that was a little easier than I thought it would be.
Well, I mean, I assumed it was going to be some sort of.
And I actually I know I probably met him in the past, but I saw him recently at Seven's Master Show about 3-4 months ago.
Oh, really?
And we talked.
How's he doing?
Good. He's like, it was weird too. So I'm like, he bullshitting me, man. And I was like, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. It's like, I've been turning down a lot of offers, but that's one I really wanted to see come out. So I'm like, really? You didn't sound like you gave half a shit when he texted me. He just said, yeah, go for it. That was all he said. Nothing else
all
says
you,
nothing.
you misread it. He said, yeah, go for it.
Yeah,
It's just text is hard to, it's hard to
Where's
market.
what we say in Exhumed?
Yeah.
Gore for it!
Yeah.
We never say that, and I never want to hear it again.
You know who came up
Dad.
with You know who came up with that? It was Dylan.
Okay, now I
Gore
like it.
for it.
If Dylan came up with it, I'm okay with it. If you came up with it, I'd be very
You guys still have
Remember
Gore?
Spider Friends go for it?
Do you guys still have Gore fucking metal on the back of each of those cards?
No, but we.
I haven't done that in a long
I was
time.
gonna say next year would be the year to bring that back. I wanted to do that. That'd be fun.
Yeah, with some cruddy duct tape on the back of the guitar.
No, we would
Super
probably
pre-roll
like-
production.
That's like that's
Oh, we
Eugene,
get,
man.
we
Oh,
get
yeah.
clear stickers now?
We always say we'd probably.
Yeah, we've made it.
Professionally.
We're at the top. We can get our vinyl stickers made. We're gonna get a van wrap for the next one. Gore metal, 30 years.
We are not getting a van.
No, we are getting a van wrap, and it's gonna have a big ad on the bottom of it for
Our MySpace page.
for our MySpace page. Yeah, that's right. Sponsored by Monster Energy. They didn't touch the 10-foot pole.
That's all right.
Think about this, you guys.
Maybe we get
Keep it up
dirty,
there,
dirty.
That was a pretty full house down
Sponsor,
there.
Exhumed Gore Metal, 30 years. Sponsored by Dirty Dots Diaper Service.
Tour of the Hemorrhage coming on its way next.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
By popular demand.
One guy demand.
Right?
That's it. Hey,
By
Louisa,
unpopular
we've got an
request.
in. We'll have free diapers for your kids. I think they'll probably go on that. But the diapers for us. We're getting close to 50. We gotta get the diaper sponsor.
It's for us. It's not for the
Yeah,
kids.
exactly.
What are you, 49?
Huh? 47.
Oh.
I had to think about it.
Wait, how are you 47? He's 47, but you're a year old. That doesn't make sense.
He graduated a year earlier. I got started in school.
Yeah, he said he's a year older though.
Yeah, you said, well, I'm like a month older than that.
I misspoke. I meant he graduated a year.
Yeah, you guys are
Or I
exactly.
graduated a year.
You're literally exactly 10 years older than me. I'm I'm 37. I'll be 38 in January.
I'll be 48 next October.
I mean, you can barely see the diapers I'm wearing right now.
Right, see the diapers?
Like, it is so good.
Slimline diapers.
Dirty Dots diaper service. You can't even tell.
Dirty Dots diapers.
I highly recommend Dirty Dots diaper service.
We got Easy E on the camera. Do you have anything to add or ask here? Otherwise, because I like to keep the video. Nothing? What were we at? What's time for it, goddamn?
28.
28, yeah, it's about good. Videos are about 20 minutes.
Okay, that sounds great.
So unless you guys have anything to add, suggest, say, comment, concerns, anything?
Yeah.
Just Dirty Dots diapers.
Dirty Dots diaper service. The smoothest diaper line you could ask for in an old man diaper.
Cut the goddamn can. I'm tired of talking to them.